Hello everyone, this is another devlog. Um, I'm really excited because I'm gonna teach you a lot of things today. I'm gonna start with the basics. Since we're working on a saving and loading system, I'm gonna teach a very brand new, complete beginner how those things work, right? Um, so in game development theory, you have something called an, a hard drive object. Your hard drive object looks something like this. Okay, and so this hard drive object, to communicate with it, you need an intermediary called game instance, because that's how Unreal Engine works, or BP game instance. And you need also a save game object, maybe BP save game object, right? So these ones all need to work together like brothers to communicate with one another, right? Another concept in Unreal Engine is, so both you'll have both this and this. Another concept that is really important in Unreal Engine is centralization, right? Let's pretend you have your slaves here, okay? These are your robot slaves. They have no emotion. You can treat them as bad as you want. Slave 1, Slave 2. And in Unreal Engine, you need to have control over everything that you create, every single thing. So let's look for the totalitarian dictatorship. Hopefully YouTube's not gonna ban us for displaying those symbols. But let's say you're something like this guy. You're literally everything like that guy, right? This is, you're the programmer. This is you. You're supposed to be like this guy, and you have absolute control over your citizens here. You're gonna have a lot more than these guys, though. You have your police, and if I can, so these are your functions. Slave robot 1, slave robot 2. These are all robots. You don't have to care about their feelings. You don't have to care about any of them. They're just robots. They have no feelings. And long story short, these are your widgets, for example, right? You want to have absolute control over them. And let's say you want to change something. Let's say you're, alright, let's say you're Steve Jobs, alright? Let's say you're Steve Jobs, the inventor of iPhone. And you're an absolute dictator of a boss or company CEO, alright? You're dictator Steve Jobs, okay? The inventor of the iPhone, you're a developer. You want to invent a button, okay? Excuse me. So you want to invent a magic red button. Maybe, okay, maybe not a button, but a central control panel, okay? Or everything can be controlled through this central control panel. I'm just gonna take a photo of this guy, right? And through this, you can absolutely have control over every single, let's say you control the minds of every single one of these citizens. You have Neuralink implanted into their brains, and so if you need to create some kind of propaganda, you don't need to explain it to every single one from door to door, from person to person, because that will take an unlimited amount of hours. Thanks to technology, you can automate this process. You can fully automate this process. And so with this button right here, have a button, has a lever, right? Once you pull this lever down, you can change the minds of everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is much better, right? Because once you check this box, it automatically changed everything. This is also what being a good driver is. When you have a car, you're a good driver. You consider a good driver when you have absolute, total, and perfect control over your car. Europeans, for example, because they drive stick and not automatic. Stick versus automatic, right? Europeans are the best drivers in the world. They have difficult roads. This might be controversial, but you need to be someone that has good control over your car. Doesn't matter what kind of car you drive. The best driver is the one that has best control over his car and his technology, and that's also the world, how it works in the development world. Another concept I'm going to explain to you today is, let's say you have these plates here, alright? This is a plate on top of a table, right? So I have one plate here and another over here. I'll explain you the concept of singles and the concept of arrays. So a single variable is a variable in which you can stack only one pancake. A array variable is an array you can stack many variables on top of one another, all by just pressing on runtime. All done on runtime by pressing a single button, either a press or a minus button, right? And you add or remove your things, and then you put them into your BP save game or the save instance, and that's pretty much it. That's how it works. So we want to have absolute control over those things. So what I'm trying to do here, instead of going here into instead of everything being so messy and stuff, right? I'm gonna go, well, it's still kind of messy because I need to clean some things, remove some useless things here. I promise I won't take a lot of time with this. I just need to clean a little bit of my folders. This will be kind of like, let's say, okay, imagine this example. And tell me you have YouTuber A and you have YouTuber B, and tell me which one is more efficient. Or let's say you have tutorial A, tutorial B also. One of them, your teachers at school, for example, need to take 5 days to explain a single concept that this teacher over here can summarize within 3 days if possible, okay? Which one would you prefer? The YouTuber that takes 3 days off of your life and time, or this guy that can summarize everything in 3 words? I don't know which one you choose, but in Blueprint this is much better because it's easier for you to understand and learn it, and also as a developer in Blueprint it's going to be easier to work with and change and edit. So this is preferred, at least in Unreal Engine Blueprint. That's the methodology we prefer, alright? So always try to make your code really simple, really efficient. And this is what we're gonna do. So remember I'm gonna show you the inefficient method and the efficient method. I don't know if I'm showing you every single thing that I'm gonna be making, but okay. I'll show you another example. let's say you also have, when you're developing something, okay, I don't know where you're developing, but I have a lot of things that I made wrong the last time. Alright, let's say here, I had a lot of things that need fixing. I'll go to my graph, okay. Actually, I'll use the help of ChatGPT on this one. Explain me in metaphorical terms an example of when you're testing something on a small scale instead of a large scale. Testing it because it might be catastrophic. So you're testing it on a scale to see if it actually works before it's actually deployed on a larger scale. List me short, funny, oracle explanations. Use emojis to make it more easy to understand. Testing your recipe, making one cupcake instead of baking 200 for a wedding. Trying a new haircut for your sim in the Sims before touching your real hair. This is exactly what we're gonna do right now. Test driving a car in a parking lot before hitting the highway. So this is our new tab, which only has one button. So we're not gonna go in and change and make a big mess over this fiscal fiscal tab. Has all these ones. And I also think I need better names here. I think fiscal category, this one, they all should have the name category. Policy category. And I'll also find more efficient ways to optimize my widgets. I have no idea how I'm gonna structure that yet. Politics, populism category. This could be demagoguery category, but whatever. Fiscal, that works. Category. This one should be on the structures. Data and variables. And this one should be on the structures. This one should be on the enums. And just like that, there, you got something beautiful. Alright, this is a new instruction. And so, what we're going to be working on for now is this is how I'm working with my new structure. It's going to be an array. I implemented it into my political tab category. I'm going to remove everything here. So I'm using a new method, which I'm going to be working with a structure now. Trying to save and load, and then using a for each, as you can see here, for each loop. I'll also show you the old methodology I was using, which was really complex. The old methodology was kind of weird because you had to load everything and then save it again. It was not efficient. So explain me why it isn't very efficient when you're trying to load something to first, when you're trying to save only one variable to first load all the other variables you have inside of your game, so that you actually really only change and edit one little variable, because without doing that, UA is going to delete all the other saves or set all the previous other saves to empty if you didn't connect them to anything previous. How can I explain that to a beginner viewer in a simple, funny, oracle way or list of ways? And how can it be much better? Because you won't be fixing one thing, but unfixing everything else for the sake one save every time, and explain takes much more effort compared to working with one array saves instead of a list of singles that are not arrays, e.g. booleans. So we'll start from this one. You just want to replace one expired yogurt, but instead you throw out everything in the fridge and then try to remember that was there before. You wrote a huge plan on a whiteboard, you notice one typo, so you wipe the entire board clean and you write everything from memory. You want to change one setting in your game, but you delete your entire file save and rebuild it piece by piece. The save game Amnesia. I like this explanation. You want to swap one shirt, but you dump your entire closet on the floor, pick a new shirt, and try to put everything back. You want to edit one message, so you delete the entire chat history and ask everyone to resend their messages. This is the best freaking explanation possible. Why arrays grouped saves are better. Array, one toolbox, open it, grab what you need, put it back. Easy. When you load everything, just change one variable, you risk losing data if you forget to connect something. You do way more work than needed every time. You introduce bugs because you're constantly building instead of updating. Hundreds of loose screws scattered everywhere. Good luck finding the right one. Array. One clean list, you update easily. Separate bulls. 50 sticky notes on the wall, and you have to check all of them every time. Save slots. Array. A list of save slots. You update just one slot. Singles. You rebuild every save slots every time you touch one. Bad approach. Destroy everything, rebuild everything, change one thing. Good approach. Go directly to the one thing, change it, and you're done. If you rewrite your entire save, just change one variable, you're not fixing the problem, you're creating 100 chances for new ones. And this is exactly what was going on here. I think I also will need to, because I don't think I can explain what I'm doing here easily. I might also take a photo of what I was doing here with this array and try to explain it to a small scale also, though this is also what I'm kind of doing here. I'm loading and then saving again, but only this time it has significant much lower rate of clutter on your screen. I'm also loading some variables so that I can make sure saving again. Only this time it's much more clean. Can you also explain what I'm doing here? Even though I'm using a structure this time, your game's my game will only get less and less complicated over time, slowly, little by little. Just doing safely in an organized way now. I don't know about an organized way, but this is not very. I'm interested into making it look better. Before I update anything I'm doing, I grab the current state, mix in my changes, and then save the full thing back properly. It's kind of like you take the food, you put it back in the fridge again. so you don't need it. We're doing a simple explanation. You load existing data, you loop through your. I have a hard time picking which explanation is better, but I'll just go with this one. On initialize, you build your list of policy widgets, you loop through each policy, you read current saved data, you pull fresh UI values, you update and rebuild one structure entry, get it back into the array, and you save the entire update structure back into your game instance. Shorter, please. I don't have all day. Load existing data, update each structure, save it back cleanly, instead of rewrite everything and hope nothing breaks. So, explanations. Spreadsheet. Edit one row instead of rewriting the whole file. Suitcase. Open, change one item, close it. Not dump everything on the floor. Soup. Taste, adjust, done. Not throw it away and restart. Structure. One clean package related data, array. A list of those packages. Updating neat little boxes instead of loose spaghetti. So this is much better because even though this might look, I mean, still has problems. I'm not finished with it, right? You just add here your variables in an array. Might not look yet the most clean and simple, but this is what I was doing before, and this is what I was doing on the begin play. Definitely the begin play is a lot cleaner. So this is what it looked like before. So you can clearly see that I made a lot of progress in this area. Like I would go through every single one of them if I wanted to add. If I added even one new boolean, then I would need to go back here, and single thing will need to be. Look at this, okay? I had 1, 2, 3, 4, all these. I would need to go to every single one of them here and save again all this data. So let's say I have a new boolean. Now this boolean will be unconnected, so I need to reconnect it back again in my structure and open up a new structure or seed. Otherwise it wouldn't work. And so this is what I also need to change here and repeat it here. So we got a lot of work to do, perhaps. And maybe we can also do this in a more not automated way, but more efficient way, which we don't need so much code at all. So efficient matters, guys. Efficient matters, man. Give me a list of examples, funny, maybe metaphors in which efficiency matters a lot. You don't build a house to put out a fire, you spread the fire. You spray the fire. You don't renovate the whole bathroom, you just find the toilet fast. If anyone doesn't understand, you don't rewrite the whole document because of one typo. You don't delete your entire playlist just because of one song is mid. You don't rewrite your whole paragraph. You just, these are not good examples. So, a trauma team works like a Formula 1 pit crew. Everyone says a role, nobody hesitates. If someone says, what's next, instead of acting instantly, the race car, the patient, doesn't finish the lap. Optimization saves seconds, saves lives. Aviation, checklists are chaos. Pilots don't wing it. Ironically, they follow strict checklists. Missing one step can cascade into a disaster. Efficiency here means no wasted thought, no skipped steps, no improvisation under pressure. Fire spreads exponentially. Slow decisions like giving the fire head start. Optimization, faster path in, faster path out, minimal wasted uh, motion. And extreme altitude. Every step costs oxygen. Inefficient movement, you literally run out of air before reaching safety. It's like having a battery that cannot be charged. Spacecraft don't carry extra fuel just in case. Slightly inefficient trajectory means missing your destination entirely. Optimization here is mathematical survival. A cheetah only has a few seconds to top speed. If it wastes its energy on a bad angle or wrong target, it goes hungry. Evolution itself is basically a brutal optimization algorithm. Immune system, find it before it multiplies. Your immune system has to detect and respond fast. A slow response lets viruses grow exponentially. Efficiency is catching the problem early before it explodes. I really love biology and stuff. Electricity networks must constantly rebalance supply and demand. A delayed or inefficient response can trigger cascading blackouts. Think one mistake, entire cities go dark. No, optimization in terms of effort, time wasted, and scaling and leveraging human time. Less work hours, more results, easier maintenance, etc. Hesitation is a collision. Your brain is basically running a real-time optimization algorithm. Milliseconds matter. Running fast in the wrong direction is worse than running slower in the right direction. Optimization beats raw effort. This is the essence of work smarter, not harder. I fully agree with this. But this is more closer to what I'm trying to explain. One factory scales by hiring more people, another invests once in automation, produces 10 times the same stuff. The efficiency one doesn't die instantly, just slowly loses to competitors until it disappears. Either your system works while you sleep, or you're renting out your lifespan by an hour. This is exactly how it is. One dev spends 5 hours doing tasks manually every week. Another dev spends 5 hours once to automate it forever. After 1 month, one is drawing, the other one is chilling. Automation is time travel. You invest hours once you collect them back every week. A prepared chef, miss and place, flows effortless. An unprepared one is constantly chaos and burnout. Preparation is borrowed time from the future. Matters also in logistics. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. You can water crops by hand or build irrigation once. Both work, but one scales to acres, the other breaks your back. This is what we're doing here. It has a lot of problems still though. I hope it didn't waste a lot of time, make you tired. Trying to explain this concept really well. There's a lot of newbies that are watching this videos probably. At least a friend of mine told me he's watching my videos, he's really new. So I need to make sure I really honed all these concepts down into his brain. Try to really make him understand how important those things are. Because as a newbie, you might not understand those concepts, right? So, first of all, we're going to see what we're going to be doing here with by playing. Always play your games, guys. Always play your games. Try to understand what's going on. I'm resetting here, so well, even though I've reset it, there's no policy on the government. It's probably because I've made something wrong. And I bet that's either on the construct here or this is really wrong. So yeah, I bet it's this one. I bet this one is causing problems. So I'm gonna change that right now. Unlock a few things, then it's right here. Now you can even, it's even updating, but when you come back, it's back again. So we need to make sure our saving works. Reach max, remove from parent. I'll save this one. Uninitialized. Array of policies, for each loop, add, save. Let's try to save Let's try to inspect that one, I mean. Goes forward, nice. This is really good progress. We have one save button here, so that is good. In our structure, do we have anything here? I don't think we do. Is our structure empty? If it's empty, it's not empty, thank God. So, starts at 0, that's good. It goes to the save, to our actual save, and it actually saves properly. That is actually really good. Is that actually 0? No, it's actually 1. You have to move to the next seat so that you can, anyways. Then you open it up. Open it. Yeah, it shouldn't really be there. If we completely defeated we slayed this dragon. This dragon shouldn't appear back again. Alright. Remove policy. It's gonna be removed now. So what are we doing here? True load. We're loading things, but for what purpose? Okay. So it looks like this one is empty. I don't feel like this should be empty, because right now we have a policy here. If I open again, it's gonna be there. So we're gonna max it out. First we need to see what's going on here. Alright. Are we actually loading properly? Here's how we can see that we're not actually loading properly. This is really the only issue at the bottom of our problems. Key issue at the bottom of our problems. It's somehow removing that thing before even we actually removed it. I'm not even actually removing it yet, and they're already removing it without my consent. Did I make sure to do this thing properly over here? Rather get more expensive over time. And I promise every single thing here will also be changed and fixed up. So somehow during this load process, in some way we're doing this load process weird. This is checked, right? Does this actually work when I'm trying to get this data from this one? Okay, let's try to okay. So it has 0 inside. Let's go once again. Our load operation clearly has a problem. But yeah, we'll fix the load operation in the next video. This video I just wanted to hone down some basic concepts and how those concepts work. I don't want to stretch out this video too long, so I think I'm gonna end this video right about here. Let me know if you have any questions, if you want me to explain any other concepts. Let me know if my voice is too monotonous. And yeah, we'll continue working on this and teaching you concepts in a easy to understand and consume way. Even if you're a complete newbie, I'll be making those drawings here if you like my art style, using metaphors and anecdotes and other things to make abstract concepts, computer science concepts, more easy to consume even for an absolute newbie. Alright, thanks for watching. That was another devlog, and goodbye.